Hi, welcome to our video presentation for um, Intro to Health Informatics at Georgia Tech. I'm Sam Taubman, and I worked on a team with Anutham Perumal, and we created Sehat Health Solutions AI chatbot. Um, Basically, the research we did, kind of our background, we found that the American healthcare system is facing a mental health crisis. You know, Here we have some bullet points just kind of outlining some of the research we did. So according to one study, 90% of U.S. adults believe the country is facing a mental health crisis. And this is coming after the COVID-19 pandemic. Social media obviously plays a part in this. Um, you know, we found research showing that growing expectations for young adults and reduced care for seniors is also uh, you know attributing to the mental health crisis. We found statistics from the World Health Organization showing that we had over a 10% increase in reported mental health disorders over the past 10 years, and this is only projected to continue to grow. With this increase, we need more mental health tools, and um, there's certainly a lot of tools already out there, but we thought we could contribute to this space, and so we use stuff like BetterHelp and Wobot Health to kind of influence the application we ended up building. So this is our project implementation status. On the left are our original project tasks that we outlined in sprint number 2. We have our original needs in the middle, and then kind of our final completion status on all these tasks here on the far right. So we did extract and clean the dreaded and depth severity data sets from the paper we found. We created API endpoints for Copilot and ChatBot in our application, and we're using Claude from Anthropic as our large language model. Our UI and backend were built using Streamlit because originally we planned to use React and probably Python, but Streamlit offers very easy application deployment, so we switched to full Python and Streamlit. We originally planned to buy a URL and deploy using some cheap hosting service, but we ended up deploying with Streamlit, so that original URL was not purchased. Just going to the research we did, I talked about that a little bit earlier, but originally, we performed academic research just to see kind of what problems were the U.S. healthcare facing at the time, and kind of problems that interested us and that we had experience in. Once we kind of identified that there's a rising mental health crisis, and there's a lack of easily accessible tools. We researched kind of what tools were available, and that kind of led us to building an AI chatbot. During the implementation of our AI Copilot and chatbot, technical research was performed to learn and deploy our application on Streamlit. In the future, if we had more time, we would probably add a database so users can log in and view previous conversations they have had. This would be helpful for the user, but it could also be useful data, obviously with permission to the user in research regarding mental health issues. We kind of saw, maybe other applications of this kind of, work. We could create more personalized solutions for specific mental health issues such as PTSD for, active combat veterans or, domestic violence victims, something like that. And then also in the future, I'd be interested to see research on the efficacy of chatbots like this for treating mental health issues, or just helping guide patients in need to care. These are our references, and here's our demonstration. So I'm going to switch over to Anutham, and he is going to present on our chatbot.
Cool. Thanks, Sam. So this is our chatbot, everybody. So you can access this site at sehatapp.streamlit.app, and it'll take you to this landing page, which tells you a little bit about why you're here. So the main differentiating features between the Copilot and the chatbot are twofold. So the Copilot is intended for quick answers to your questions about where the nearest in-person resources might be. We realized that there's a lot of information out there on Google. You may try to almost search, best psychiatrist, best therapist, best whatever near me. And it can be a bit tedious to sort through all of those results on your own time and sort of gauge that for yourself. So with that in mind, we developed ChatBot using a few different prompt engineering guardrails, as well as moderation built in. So if you want a more free-form conversation about getting getting back up to spirits, I guess, you can use our free-form chatbot. So that'll let you talk to it and converse with it more like you would a friend. But if you want more just immediate resources near you, you can use the Copilot. So I'm going to be taking us to Copilot. And so basically I can greet this and say, hey, what's the weather today, right? And what should happen is that it tells you that your message has been deemed invalid due to inappropriate or unrelated content. This is the moderation in effect, so you can't just ask it random sports questions or weather questions or random trivial facts like when was Georgia Tech founded, and it should deem my message invalid. Yep. And so how you can use this is to then say, hey, I've been feeling down in the dumps, and let's say we live near Atlanta, so we want to find resources near there to help us. So I say, hey, I've been feeling down in the dumps. I live near Atlanta. What are some of the best therapists in the area? Should tell us, should give us some more general information. What are some known psychiatrists near Atlanta? So it starts to give us some general resources on where we can find some mental health care near Atlanta. So that's our Copilot. And then when you come to the chatbot, we tackle this with more of a free-form approach to bettering our mental health. And so the way that you would use this is that you would pick from 3 different options that we've given you here. This can be expanded in the future, but for the purposes of this project, we picked normal, tough love, and extra coddled. So I'm going to demonstrate the tough love one here. So you just select it, it disappears. And so what will happen is that obviously the user has selected an option as to what demeanor they want their responses to be in. And we would expect them to chat with this sort of like the same way they would chat with their therapist, a friend, a loved one. So I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, dude, not feeling too great recently. And we wait for the generation. Dot, dot, dot. And it gives us some tough love on how to feel better. It's very detailed and creative about the way that it suggests going about things. And now to contrast that, I'll just demonstrate the extra coddled feature. So, hey, I'm sad. And you should come across the same type of response now with the opposite flavor. Really thoughtful chatbot here. And we immediately see that the response generated from the LLM is, a little bit more sensitive, soft, in case you're really, really feeling down in the dumps, I guess. But yeah, that was a quick demonstration of our chatbot. And it's, again, accessible at sehatapp.streamlit.app. But as for some points on our research, really we saw that depth severity and the dreaded data sets could be used for retrieval augmented generation or even extension of these chatbots. However, we found that our underlying model actually did a pretty good job in terms of taking in long context windows when we were using a multi-shot approach to generating these responses, in addition to just overall being trained really well on how to respond to someone or how to recognize someone's dialogue as depressed or anxious or otherwise not normal or not happy. So um, rather than going with the vector DB route, we decided that we could do just chain of thought, moderation prompts, and use system prompts even to great effect. But as far as our actual LLM app goes, we kept it pretty lightweight. So yeah, no vector DB here, although that would be a good extension for this project in the future. Go back to you, Sam.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, yeah. Thanks for watching. All right. See you.